A studio is an artist's workroom. Studios are often used for creative fields like painting, sculpture, woodworking, filmmaking, or photography. But did you know studios are also used for comic book creation? In America, iconic comic artists like Jim Lee, Todd McFarlane, and Mark Silvestri worked collaboratively in studios when working on projects for DC Comics. In Japan, manga artists often work in studios alongside their manga assistants. The purpose of art studios is to create an environment where creators can support each other, learn from each other, and help each other achieve similar goals. But what does a manga studio look like in the year 2024? With things like the internet, social media, and direct messaging, working collaboratively with people across the world has never been easier. Joining me in today's video is Midnight Productions, an independent studio that funds manga projects, voice-acted animatics, and digital webcomics. You may recognize him for his viral webcomic, A Yakuza's Wife, illustrated by Ball Buddy.
Hey everybody, so I go by the name Midnight and I own Midnight Productions Studio. We create anime and we create manga. People probably know the name Ball Buddy. So Ball Buddy is a freelance manga artist and I sometimes hire him to work on my series. Help My Baby Mama Knows Kung Fu, Yakuza's Wife. And if you go to his Twitter page, you can actually see the chapters he did for me for those particular series. I am a benefactor to Rude Jack. He has a YouTube channel. He usually includes me into his videos because I help fund his animations and his studio. I'm gonna be honest with you, I have zero talents of drawing or making anime. The only thing I have is a good job. And so the first thing I did was go on Reddit. That's where a lot of people go and try to auction themselves so they can get commissioned. And that's how I met my first independent studio that I regularly contract, Giraz Studio. And I believe he's from India. He's kind of like my translator. He talks to my manga artists and my animators. Most of my manga artists are Japanese or the Philippines. One from Malaysia, I think. So all of my contractors are from all over the world, and I just kind of direct them on what direction we're going to take in terms of developing the story, the anime, the manga, and I usually just do the edits. I put the pictures together, I write the dialogue, and I edit the anime scenes once they complete it and give it to me.
It is no secret that it is very hard to make money with comics, manga, or webtoons. Most comic artists have day jobs, side hustles, or other sources of income. Even in the Japanese anime industry, working conditions are not much better. Mangaka have much shorter life expectancy rates compared to other professions. Some animation studios have even been called out for poor working conditions, poor payment, and overwork. How does Midnight Productions compensate artists working on various projects?
I'm well aware of the starving artist stereotype. I don't want to brag or anything. I'll throw bukus of money at these people, man. Their art inspired me so much. And frankly, their content was like better than what you see on TV, man. Because I think we're living in an age where everything is just kind of crappy in terms of writing and direct. Not the anime market, but I guess I'm just talking about the Western market, especially in America. And these are mostly American indie content creators. And I'm like, man, your stuff is so good. I'm willing to pay thousands of dollars just to help you create this art, this series. I have artists that I can contract, write a comic about it. And I would tell them, like, man, if you need a break, I can hire animators to pick up where you left off. They'll be doing the anime, the in-betweens, and the cleanup. I have a really good job, and I don't have any kids, single, and I travel for work, so I don't really have that much expenses as well. Now, I'm not rich, I'm not like a millionaire or anything, but I do have quite a bit of resources at my disposal that I can invest into these projects.
It is interesting how you work with freelance artists for long-term projects. With traditional publishers, most artists would want to work exclusively with them and not with anyone else. Is there a reason you choose to use independent contractors versus hiring these artists, animators, and voice actors to do work in-house for Midnight Production Studios?
So for my work, real life work, I'm a contractor. That really is the best way to go, to be a gig worker. Basically have control over your schedule, control over your workflow. I understand people love their jobs. I love my job, but I really don't think it's wise to be completely loyal to a corporation. You can give years of dedication. And we see this with the famous American comic book creators. Those comic book writers and illustrators that wrote the original X-Men, Spider-Man, Superman, they all got shafted, bro. Corporation just said, well, we don't need you anymore, see ya, and kicked them to the curb. Midnight Productions will take care of you the best way you can. Your display of loyalty is accepting the contracts we give you. That's good enough for me. And I throw bonuses in there. I think one of the storyboard artists, he had a wedding. I gave him a raise for that, so he can have something to spend on for his honeymoon and wedding night. See, I do stuff like that because I want to encourage that loyal devotion. Like if Midnight Productions has something you want to work on, we're going to jump on it because this guy takes care of us and we also enjoy the work that he gives us. If I didn't have a good job, I wouldn't be able to do this at all because this costs thousands upon thousands of dollars. I work 60 hours a week for months. Even if you're drawing, even if you're talented, always get a good job first. Because if you're pursuing your passion without that background or that foundation, you're going to end up hating your passion because all it's going to be associated with you eating noodles every day or you always not having enough money. And that failure will turn to resentment. Now your passion is something that you hate instead of something that you used to love.
So in the past, working with traditional publishers like Marvel, DC Comics, Image Comics, Dark Horse seemed like the natural path for an aspiring comic artist. In more recent years, with the rise of webcomics, platforms like Webtoons, Tapas, and Manga Plus creators are beginning to look like more viable options. There are even international opportunities popping up like the Viz Media Originals / One Shot Program, the 100th Tezuka Manga Award, the American Manga Awards, and Silent Manga Audition. Crowdfunding through a service like Kickstarter, Indiegogo, or GoFundMe is also a viable option for some creators with a pre-existing audience. As an independent manga studio, do you feel like you need a traditional publisher to find success with your manga projects?
You don't need Webtoons, man. You don't need the contract. Like, for example, think of Has Been Hotel, Hell of a Boss, Vizipop. Her series, millions of people watch it online. She didn't need Amazon. She didn't need a big corporation to license the material. All she really needed was just put a paywall behind it. Like, hey, I know that you enjoy this series. All my animators have to eat. So if some of you can just pay a $4.99 subscription fee, and that will really help us contribute to more episodes and extend the longevity of the series. You get 50,000 times $4.99. You made it, man. Who needs a corporation these days? We have the technology to do the same thing that these mega corporations are doing themselves.
So something I am curious about is how copyrights and intellectual property rights work at Midnight Production Studios. You mentioned that several of your series are inspired by others' original work. So who owns what in these big projects? And how do you feel about publishers who try to take creators' IP when they join the company?
It's abhorrent. I'm strongly against anybody taking your IP. Like, that's something that you created, something that you brainstormed. It just blows my mind that somebody can just take the rights of it. So I grew up in the Cartoon Network era. Who Named Kids Next Door, Megas XLR, even Powerpuff Girls. The reason that we don't see an extended version of those series because the creators don't own it. The corporations own it. And the corporations tell the owners what they can or can't do for something that they created. That's no bueno for me, man. I'm strictly opposed to that. If I got to pay out of pocket for you to trademark your own license or your own IP, then that's something that I'm just going to do. Nobody deserves a hand in your IP.
So funny enough, I'm actually familiar with some of your works. In the past, I have seen some of your manga stories voice acted on YouTube. I have also seen a few comic strips posted on Twitter by Ball Buddy. Most recently, a VTuber I know, Apollo from Mythos, voiced dubbed the scene from your manga series, A Yakuza's Wife, alongside Nux Taku during her debut livestream. Can you tell us a bit about this manga project you developed with Ball Buddy?
So right now I'm working on 3 projects and I plan on adding at least 2 more. So how it works is I usually hire a manga artist, a contractor, to write chapters of that. And then I'll hire the animator to make an anime that runs concurrent to the manga. And then I hire voice actors to recite the script. And then that's when I do the editing and, slice and dice up scenes as I see fit. So basically, this series will be based on Yakuza. It plays on the trope of the ghost Japanese girl. I'm a big horror fan, so I'm familiar with not the Americanized version, but actually the Ju-on version of The Grudge and Ringo. The background of this series will be WW2. So when that bomb was dropped on Nagasaki, a lot of people's particles and atoms basically got split. So all of the legends and all the myths that you see, all these ghost appearances of the Onurai or the yokai, that basically all originated from the plutonium atomic bomb.
I have also seen your manga series, My Baby Mama Knows Kung Fu, floating around on my Twitter feed. Can you tell us a bit more about this web manga and what inspired the concept?
It's basically just a series about this guy. He's a Japanese salaryman. He has everything going for him. You know, he has a fancy car, a nice house, a cushy job. But he wants a promotion so he can even get more money. But in that particular corporation, well, this is every corporation actually. Promotions are basically based on family life. You know, the CEOs like to give promotions to men that are married and have a family because it shows stability. And so this presents the salaried man with a dilemma. Like, I'm a single guy. He meets this girl, and one thing leads to another, and they end up having a one night stand. And you think the story would end there, but after salaried man thinks like, wait a minute, I can use this woman and have her pretend to be my wife so I can get the promotion because the boss will see that I'm a family man. What happens is she actually becomes pregnant and gives birth to a child. And so now the salary man who was just pretending to have a family actually has a family. And the series is just them just living life and going through all these wacky adventures.
So what is the end goal for Midnight Productions Studio?
The feature for goal for all of this is to move all this content into a monetizable platform. So let's just say I have my own website, and in order to read the manga, have a subscription plan for $3.99 or $4.99 a month. You can read Sion Passion manga. You can read Yakuza's Wife manga. And you can also watch anime episodes that are available.
Well, I look forward to seeing all that and more. Hopefully you were able to get some value out of today's video. If you did, please leave this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. Leave a comment down below telling us what you thought of today's episode. Remember, you can further support me by following me on all of my social media accounts, joining my Discord server by becoming a YouTube member, or purchasing one of my Manga Maker panel template sets on Ko-fi. As always, keep creating, everyone. I'll see you all in the next one.
Goodbye.